Hello again, everybody. Gary Furman and Matt Shodell here. And today we are talking about a subject that's dear to my heart because he's a player that I have extremely high hopes for here in the last few games of this season and going into next year. And that is defensive tackle Leonard Taylor. And Matt Shodell, it's been a recurring theme every week. We keep saying, man, we got to see more Leonard Taylor. We got to see more Leonard Taylor. And then this week we did the analysis research on Leonard Taylor. And when you worked on that, you found out, man, Leonard Taylor is playing about as well as any defensive tackle in the country right now. And we saw him go from, he's been doing 20 to 25 snaps a game. We saw him get up to 30 at Virginia. His productivity per snap, Matt, like I said, is as good as anybody. And you did some more digging this week and came up with a reason why Leonard Taylor is now playing so well. Tell us about
it. So, okay. And by the way, we broke down his production per snap, which is really where he was an elite level above the number 3 draft pick in the NFL a few years ago, who was a similar size to him. But anyway, so it actually was, believe it or not, I'll give some credit to Gary. It was Gary's idea. You know what? Leonard mentioned in his interview this week that he had a meeting with Mario Cristobal and that his mom was present. So Gary rang me up and quite nicely said, would you like to call Leonard Taylor's mother?
Well, you had such a nice relationship.
Right, which I responded, of course. She's great. I talked to her during recruiting. She's great. But at the same time, you never know. When someone's a recruit, it's different than when they're a player for a team. So you never know what's going to happen, so when you call up, you remember me from Kane Sport, we used to be somewhere else. Now we're with On 3. Oh yeah. And she was great. The first question I asked was sort of, about the meeting. And she's one of these people, as a reporter, I don't know out there how you guys do this, but as a reporter, there are some people who answer your next question without you even asking it. And she gave such detailed information. Like if I played my tape for you, I only maybe asked 4 questions, and she talked for 25 minutes. And
it's a great story. You guys watching this, you must read this story. It is a great story.
Yeah, well, the great stories are not because of the writers always, but it's because of the information that these people provide. I just let her tell her story, and she was very happy to tell her story. She was excited to tell her story because it's such a great story. Basically, it started off with high expectations. She knew LT was starting. They went to the first home games, very excited to watch him play, and then they went over to they went up to Texas, her and her husband, to watch the Texas A&M game, and she just started getting phone calls. Her phone was lighting up. Why isn't Leonard playing? Why is he in first and second down? They take him out on third down. What's going on? And her husband says to her, "You need to talk to somebody at Miami, about this." Which is something she'd already been thinking to herself. And this is her talking, not me, by the way. This is what she told me. And so naturally, in this day and age, if you want to talk to a Miami coach, what do you do, right? You call up the coach. Wrong. You call your agent. You call Leonard's agent and say, "Hey, Mr. Agent, we'd like to find out why Leonard's not playing more," which on the surface sounds like a coach's worst nightmare. Like no coach wants an agent calling them and saying, "Leonard's mom's complaining he's not playing enough. He needs to play more." Like nobody wants to hear that. But this was not what that was about. Okay, this was Leonard Taylor's mother wanting to make sure that Leonard is fulfilling what Miami coaches are asking of him. She's not just saying play him more. He's better than everyone else. She's saying, I want to know what's wrong. Why isn't he playing to the level that we all think he can play at? So the agent calls Mario. The coaches call Mom. They set up a meeting, and they had the meeting after the Middle Tennessee game. And you can read the story for the details of the meeting. It's really interesting to me. But I will share that at one point, Leonard looked so bad on the tape that Mario showed Mom, with Leonard sitting right next to her, that Mom started laughing out loud at how bad Leonard looked, which probably didn't make Leonard feel real good, but she explained to him why she was laughing, which she had never seen him look like that before. Offensive lineman, shoving him, pancaking him, shoving him all around the field. Like she was laughing because it's just like she thought it was like a comedy routine. Like it wasn't real, it was like a little cartoon sketch. Anyway, long story short, Mom found out the issues. She fixed one of them in her kitchen. One of the major issues was fixed actually in her kitchen. The other major issue was fixed with 3 time a day phone calls. and you could see the results. I mean, I told the mom, and I actually wrote it in the story too, but I told the mom when I was talking to her, I said, listen, I said, they give out a defensive line MVP award every week. I said, they need to create a Mom of the Year award, and I would think you'd be in the running pretty high up for that, and she seemed to like that.
It's unbelievable. Obviously you go out to the practice field, you got all these coaches yelling and screaming all the time and giving directions. At the defensive tackle position, you got Joe Salavea, who's this hulking human being. I mean, just one of the biggest guys. And I mean, he literally looks like the Incredible Hulk. Okay. Very cool guy, by the way, the nicest guy in the world. And he makes the most incredible fashion statements on game day. Like, you'll see this big guy coming to walk up to meet with recruits. He'll have like a vest on with the dress shirt underneath the vest hanging down, like it's not even tucked in the pants. And
why are you even paying attention to that? I don't even look at what he's wearing.
It's just so
funny. You're like a fashionista,
No, it's funny. I mean,
you're the wrong profession.
It's just funny. But like, you got all this going on. You got all these coaches. You got Jason Taylor working with the defensive line, Rod Wright. They played in the NFL, yada, yada, yada. And yet the guy that should be the best defensive tackle on the team, who is without, the best defensive tackle on the team, although I do still think Darrell Jackson can get to a Leonard Taylor level, but
totally different player, but okay.
Different type of player. Yeah. But you've got his mom, like it takes his mom, to hell with the coaches. It takes his mom to get it on his butt to maximize his ability on the field. And this is one of the coolest stories, very unique. Like I said, you guys have got to watch it. So Mario tells mom, he's not eating properly. He needs to gain weight. So what does mom do, Matt? She starts cooking him a week's worth of meals every Sunday and delivers them to him.
No, he picks them up. She does not. He has to at least go get them. He has to go get them.
So she's become like a commissary for her son, who, by the way, also has access to a training table and food all day in the football facilities. I mean, like, these guys are not lacking for meals and food. Let's put it that way.
I said to her, I said, listen, if your food's that good, I said, I'm coming over for dinner. And she didn't think I was joking. I was joking, but she didn't think I was joking.
She didn't say, come on over, Matt?
She was like, okay.
But yeah, so Leonard Taylor has turned the corner. He has been playing very good football the last few weeks, never better than at Virginia last Saturday. And now here we are, it's Florida State week, and the Seminoles come into town, and Miami is going to need Leonard Taylor at his best on Saturday, not just as a run stopper, which is kind of normal. Matt, with Jordan Travis being the runner that he is and always looking to run, I think Leonard Taylor is going to have to really be on his P's and Q's and stay in his lanes and make sure he's where he belongs to try to take away some of the inside runs by the quarterback.
Well, I know it'll come as a shock to you, but Jordan Travis is no longer a run-first quarterback. He's actually become a pass-first quarterback. But if they don't stay in their lanes, he's gone. And you need defensive linemen with speed. Like, Darrell Jackson's not going to run down Travis. But, Leonard has that quick in-space burst where he can get right on him. And, with his arms, he's got very powerful period. He's very powerful period. But quick, long arms. I mean, he'll get him. Unfortunately for Miami, he's probably the only one. Akeem Mesidor is he's a little heavier. I know Akeem's a defensive end, but believe it or not, to me, I think Leonard Taylor is the secret weapon for the defense in this game, even if Akeem Mesidor is 100% healthy, because, this Florida State offense is predicated on running the ball. They're the number one rushing offense in the ACC, and they're running the ball pretty much between the tackles. That's how they generally run the ball, because they're doing RPO stuff. So, it's really on Leonard, because, Darrell Jackson is a good run support guy, not a great pass rusher. Leonard can do both, okay? That's very rare at defensive tackle, to be a very successful player in both those areas, to have the strength and the quickness in small spaces to be able to do that. So that's why I think he's the secret weapon in this game. If he plays a lot of snaps, which would make mom happy, and he's going to have a huge impact, I think, in this game. And if FSU isn't double teaming him every single snap, which I think they will, I think there were some mistakes by other teams not to. for instance, if you look at some of the gifts in the story this morning, you'll see Virginia tried to just single him up. And I mean, you just can't do that. And I'm sure FSU watched that. I'm sure they're going to do different things now to Leonard, especially with the assumption that Akeem's at least banged up. And then they'll figure it out from there, because you can't really double two different guys and get your offense going the way you want to. So it's going to be very interesting to see if Leonard can still be effective if they do double him up. But yeah, to me, he's the guy who's got to be the difference maker of this game.
All right, it's Miami FSU. We're looking for big things from Leonard Taylor Saturday night at Hard Rock Stadium. From Matt Shadell, I'm Gary Furman. Thank you for joining us once again today. Hit your subscribe button, hit your like button. It'll help us with the guys over at YouTube and their algorithms, and allow us to keep producing more of this type of content for you on an ongoing basis. Have a great day, everybody.